All right. So, uh, good morning, everybody. Today, as part of uh, the Fit and Nutrition seminars, I want to make a little introduction to probiotics in the aquaculture context, focusing on their action as a diet supplement and health benefits. So, as most of you might know already, aquaculture faces challenges to be considered as a sustainable food production system. In recent years, disease prevention and control, as well as research to get more profitable business, have led to an increase in the use of chemical additives and medicines. Um, so the use of antimicrobial as a preventive measure has been questioned many times due to the vast amount of documentation of the evolution of antimicrobial resistance, and especially with pathogenic bacteria. In addition, there are environmental problems associated with the chemical additives. So the search for alternative techniques is increasing, and the contribution of probiotics should be, and now it's considered more seriously. So the concept itself, or the word probiotic, has been discussed since 1905 by Dr. Early Metchnikoff, who said reliance on gut microbes for food makes it possible to take steps to change the flora of our bodies and replace harmful microbes by beneficial microbes. But then the first use of the word to describe probiotic as a microbial feed or food supplement was made by Parker in 1974. And he defined it as an organism or substances that contribute to intestinal microbial balance. Um, Years after, um, uh, studies were carried about the inhibition of pathogens using probiotics. As you can see on the image on the right, so we have two potential probiotic species, and we can see that around them there's a halo uh, uh, inhibiting the pathogen growth. So this was incorporated in the definition, and now a probiotic is a microorganism that have an antimicrobial effect through modifying the intestinal microbiota, secreting antibacterial substances uh, which compete with pathogens to prevent their adhesion to the intestine, um, and also competing for nutrients necessary for pathogen survival, and also producing an antitoxin effect. We must also make clear that probiotics may also stimulate the appetite and improve nutrition by the production of vitamins, the detoxification of compounds in the diet, and the breakdown of undigestible components, as we can see so many examples, especially with herbivores, that they have special bacteria which allow the degradation of cellulose in plant material, right? Now, some species to have considered to have a probiotic effect include gram-positive bacteria such as Bacillus, Carnobacterium, Enterococcus, and Lactobacillus, and surprisingly, some gram-negative facultative anaerobic microbes such as Vibrio, and Pseudomonas, which are usually cataloged as disease species. But review about the use of probiotics in marine larviculture done by Nail showed a study made by Rickleman in 2001, showing that Vibrio and Pseudomonas can actually be used as an antibiotic treatment. Um, and it also increased the number of eye in larvae, which is quite interesting. In addition to these, we can also find certain fungi, yeast, and algae of the genera the Variomycetes, Saccharomyces, of course, and Tetracernis among these probiotic species. As a little example of how of the research in this area, some species, a lot of species are used mainly for as a growth promoters and pathogen inhibition, and with different species. And we can also see shrimps, for example, Paneus monodon, which is quite common, and some fish species, and also crustacean species. I must said that usually the use of probiotics is not only with one specific species, it can also be different species working together. So also this diversity offer more resilience against pathogens in terms of health, and also work better with growth promoters. The following slide serves as an example of the use of bacteria from the genus Streptomycetes as an alternative to antibiotics, and also controlling disease, and also improving the health and quality of aquaculture production. So we can see with this example that even one whole genus can have different effects that positively have a positive influence in the livestock. So Streptomycetes as a probiotic in aquaculture could protect the livestock from pathogens through various different antagonistic compounds, such as antibiofilm, antiquorum sensing, antivirulence properties against, in this case, viral pathogens. It has also the potential to attenuate the growth of these pathogens by producing siderophores, which reduce the bioavailability of iron for the pathogens in the aquatic environment. And also it has antiviral compounds to prevent infection caused by the white spot syndrome virus, or WSSV. And in addition to this, these probiotics have the ability to secrete hydrolytic exozymes, which improve the amylolytic and proteolytic activity in the digestive tract of the livestock for more efficient use of feed. And eventually this contribute to a better growth performance of the livestock. But it also shows some limitations, especially because these genera produce geosamine and MIB, which are chemicals that give an earthy and muscly taste and odor to the fish, so affecting the palatability of the same. These flavor compounds are absorbed and bioaccumulated in the gills, skin, and flesh of the fish, resulting in a low commercial value. That's one of the limitations. And also, there's some concerns about the risk of lateral gene transfer of antibiotic resistant genes to pathogenic bacteria, So this could be an argument against the use of Streptomycetes as a probiotic in aquaculture. And it not only applied to this genera, it can be, this example can be seen in uh, other groups as well. However, for this special example, and related with the taste and odor problem, some argue that ozonation is an effective measure to fight against these compounds, and also that systematic screening for potential antibiotic-resistant genes, uh, determinants in potential probiotic genome has to be conducted to assess the potential risk and mobility. So basically, curative strategies can be suitable, can be a suitable tool to remove the genetic element that carries the antibiotic resistance from the probiotic strains. So these genes are not transferred to the pathogen bacteria. So there's still research on it. I just want to show some both faces of the coin, especially with this scenario with the Streptomycetes. Now we have another study. So the following article illustrates the effect of probiotics on growth performance and digestive enzyme activity of the shrimp Baname using photosynthetic bacteria and bacillus. So basically, the microorganisms or the probiotics were added to shrimp basal diet at 3 different concentrations using the basal diet shown in the table. So the treatment was 2 grams, one of bacteria, lyophilized photosynthetic bacteria cells, or PSB, and lyophilized bacillus, BS. So in a proportion of 1 gram, 1 gram, and the second treatment, 5 grams, 5 grams, and the last treatment, 10 grams, 10 grams. Add to the basal diet. And in the results seem to be quite interesting because, of course, in the initial work didn't show any differences, but after a period of 28 days, the final weight was quite different between the control, also called the basal diet, and the diet supplemented with probiotics. So there was a clear difference and an influence on the final weight of the stock using the probiotics. Also, there was a difference in the DG or daily gain, and also the relative gain rate. However, this effect didn't seem to be different between treatments, only comparing with the control. Now, the study also focused on the enzyme activity. So they analyzed the protease activity, amylase activity, and lipase activity, showing similar results. So the protease, and especially the protease activity and the amylase activity, showed different showed differences, significant differences between them and compared with the control. So, however, there was no big difference between treatments. This and in the base activity was quite homogeneous as well. So it was evident that even having the highest concentration of probiotics doesn't result in an improved activity, uh, enzyme activity, and also the different variables as final weight and TG or RGR. So this study showed that at least the amount of probiotics seem not to be important, or seem not to show a significant difference in the different variables studied. So, as a conclusion, the challenges commonly associated with aquaculture are leading to increased attention for improving practices, including the use of probiotic, as this offers viable alternatives for the generation of a higher quality livestock product in terms of size, production time, and health. And in order for Streptomycetes and other microorganisms to be included as a probiotics, further trials are still required to test its characteristics in disease prevention and growth enhancement of aquaculture animals. Thank you so much for watching. And see you later.